Hi, my name's Daley. I have my albums Evergreen and Color Theory out right now on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, anything you can find music on. And I'm here with Muse today. Most of my stuff tends to be pop-centric because that's just how I write. I have some rock songs like Controller, Obsidian, but I'm not a rock star. I'm more emotional, more songwriter-driven. I'm more of a singer-songwriter than rock idol, I guess. I've been doing music since, this is probably wrong, because I've probably been doing music before this, but probably like 6th grade. I joined band. I was a band kid, unfortunately. I played alto saxophone, switched to bari sax, the best one, other than tenor, because tenor is the one that actually matters. And I picked up guitar in 7th grade, I believe. So I've been playing for a while. I'm not a virtuoso by any means, but I can play what I need to, you know. I started songwriting probably around that same time. My first song is called Beautiful Day. If you're lucky, you'll get to hear it one day. It's really funny. I'd say probably my grandfather, as I said earlier in an earlier take. Because my grandfather was a disc jockey at radio stations in Michigan and my hometown Fort Myers for a while. It's actually where I get my stage name, because he went as Bob Daley on the air, and he's been like not meaning to make the pun here, but he's been my muse probably for the longest time. He introduced me to all the music, a lot of the music that I like. My favorite band's the Beatles. He introduced me to them. He used to be able to play piano by ear really well. You show him a song, he can play it. Not anymore, unfortunately, but that talent and that musicianship is what really drew me to music in the first place. And Beatles Rock Band. I don't know if any of you guys have ever played that game, but that game is what got me into the Beatles, and it got me into the Beatles hard. Like so much so, Paul McCartney is my favorite musician ever. I would call my main instrument bass, actually. That's what I'm playing in Chrysanthropop, so. It's really different every time, using my acting skills. It's really different every time, because sometimes, most of the time, a melody will come to me in my head. This is like my main method of songwriting. The melody will come in my head, the composition will form around it, then my main instrument's guitar / bass, and I've said that already, but then I find it on the fretboard, and then I try to get everything else that's in my head out onto the track how it should be. With Evergreen and Color Theory, I wasn't always as good about that because I wasn't a good enough producer yet, and I wasn't a good enough musician yet in general. Like, I didn't know how to get exactly what I wanted, and I didn't know how to focus on how to get what I wanted. But more recently, I've been able to get exactly what I have in my head out onto a track. My favorite songs I've put out, my most recent song, Cotton Candy Sky. That song, I worked it up in the lab. That song, I put so much effort into it to make it as catchy as possible, as ear-pleasing as possible. So much ear candy in that song, it's insane. I'm not performing it tonight because it doesn't fit the vibe, but I do love that song and stream it. It's out right now. It's easily one of the songs that I've gotten closest to what I have in my head, which is a really good thing because it's a mess up there, but it's a beautiful mess sometimes, especially when it comes to composition. My favorite song to perform live right now, and that I'm doing tonight, is No Closure from my album Evergreen. It's a great fall album, great for if you're in your feelings this fall, as many of you might be. And it's my favorite because when I released it, it was my first year at FSU. All the people that I followed from FSU that followed me back, that was their first glimpse of my music, their first impression of me. And so many people related to that song, so many people I wouldn't even expect to like that song like it. I see all your playlists with that song on it. You can see that on Spotify for Artists if you didn't know. People can see your playlists. So if they're weird, that's on you. But the lyrics are very based on not getting the closure, because as many of us didn't get the closure we needed from the pandemic. I know a lot of chapters in my life weren't really closed. Like, I won prom king. I'd never thought I'd do that. I won prom king and never got a prom. And that, yeah, there's like so many things just never got closure. Thanks. First and only virtual prom king, let's go. But just so many things never got closure, and I think that group trauma, even though it's terrible that it happened and it's still going, I think that's beautiful, that we can all relate to one thing. We have one thing to all unite us, no matter what political party you are, no matter what you are at all. You're human, and you're living in this time and time period. So I think that's really beautiful. Even though it's unfortunate, it's really beautiful. And my favorite part about performing that song live is when everybody knows the words. That's like the biggest compliment as a songwriter you can get, is people memorizing your lyrics. Because that means they're relating to the song really well, and that means they felt it so personally, and I think that's beautiful. So the fact that people can sing my lyrics back to me, especially since that song is very much like, I usually request people to sing that song, especially on the last chorus. I say, sing the last chorus with me. Tonight I'm looking forward to all the bands performing, all the acts, the solo acts as well, like me. I haven't seen most of these bands, so I'm really excited to see them perform for the first time, and I'm looking forward to seeing them perform again, as well as the solo acts here. I'm also looking forward to everybody's costumes. Costumes were encouraged for this. I'm Steve Harrington from Stranger Things Season 2. I don't have my gloves on right now, but if I did, and if you come tonight, you'll know. I'll probably post Instagram pictures later, honestly, because I'm going to have some great pictures from Muse. Thanks, Muse, for that. Follow me on Spotify. Following helps out a lot. I know a lot of you listen to my music but don't follow me, so please follow me. It helps me more than you know. Follow me on Instagram, Dylan Daley Official. That's where I post all my updates, all my gigs. So if I'm releasing new music, that's the first place you'll see it. That's if you want to keep up with me or my music or anything about me. Follow me on Instagram. That's super important. That's the social media I use absolutely the most, because Twitter's for famous people. So I'm not on Twitter that much. And follow my band's page, Chrysanthropop. I'm still writing it, so if you like my lyrics, if you like my songwriting, that's still there. But I'm on bass and singing, so it's different dynamic than you would see in a solo show. And my bandmates are great. Shout out to Alexi, Jonathan, and Xavier, my roommate. You guys are doing a fantastic job, and I love playing with you guys. Check the description then, you'll see it. Yeah, that's it. They sound great out there. They're loud, but they sound great.
I love that song.